Hey, what's up, everyone? This is David Greenspan, and I want to welcome you back to Season 4 of the Mindshare Podcast. Additional podcasts are available at mindshare101.com and on all the major podcast platforms. This week's episode is sponsored by Kits Keep in Touch Systems and the Buzz Conference. Now, if you're not already, make sure you follow the Buzz Conference on Instagram at the Buzz Conference to keep tabs on all of the awesome events they are always hosting, including getting your tickets for this most amazing conference coming up on March 31st. It is a live in-person event. The lineup is absolutely loaded, and I want you to be there. So make sure you go over to thebuzzconference.com. Make sure you get your tickets. Do that before March 15th, and we'll see you in just a few weeks. And when was the last time that you checked out the Kits Cross-Channel Marketing Suite? This is your full-on marketing tool set, starting with Loop CRM to help keep you organized. It's got the most personalized direct mail newsletters. There's email newsletters, websites, social media content, super easy 3-click landing pages complete with automated action plans, and so much more to help you manage your business, generate more leads and more referrals, and build that mindshare to drive even more sales. You can learn more on my site, mindshare101.com, by clicking on marketing. And of course, as you know, we are on a push to get 100 reviews, and I would like to ask you, if you haven't yet, please take 2 minutes, rate the show, leave a review, and of course, we're making it super easy for you. All you have to do is go to ratethispodcast.com/mindshare101. Again, that's ratethispodcast.com/mindshare101. As always, thank you in advance. Today's episode is number 171. He is a real estate agent and content creator with The Agency in Toronto, Canada. He has built his brand on funny, clever, and sometimes polarizing content, whether you like it or not, demands your attention. Earning millions of organic views on social media, his unconventional approach has landed him on some of the biggest stages, speaking with Ryan Serhant, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Tom Ferry. Forging his own path, he has become a fan favorite among agents and clients alike. This week on the show, I am joined by real estate agent and content creator, Matt Lionetti. Matt, welcome to the Mindshare Podcast.
Holy fuck, David. That was like... I need that sound clip. That was the greatest intro I've ever had in my life.
Dude, we got, you're here, bro. It's
you hooked me
welcome
up
to the show, man.
You hooked me up, dude. Holy shit.
Bro. Yeah, man.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. I've seen you for a long time. I mean, you're huge in the space, and it's an honor to be on your show.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, man. And, I know you didn't know this, and we talked about this before we got on air, but that Zeppelin t-shirt, man, like you're talking my style right now, bro. That's my jam. But we can't get tapering off into that because we got a lot that we want to get over to. But it is totally exciting to have you here. And I got to tell you, man, it's as much the same. I would say I started checking out the videos and it became like an addiction. I'm like, I got to watch one more. No, I got to watch one more. And I was killing myself laughing. And I want to tell everybody right now, if you are not familiar with Matt, what's the Insta handle? Just Matt Lionetti?
Matt.Lionetti. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, go check this guy out. Throw him a follow. Do it now. Just fucking hilarious, man. I love. But look, we said real estate agent. We said content creator. How long have you been selling real estate for?
5.5 years now. So cool. It's, yeah. I've been in it for 5.5 years. It always sounds like a jail sentence. But do you ever notice that when people say I've been in for about 10 years, it always sounds like a jail sentence, no matter how you put it. But
some people in real estate might argue it actually feels like that. But
yeah, sometimes it definitely is.
Tell me this: where did you get your first deal from? And I asked that question because it's one of those things that, when people start to look back and remembering too that Mindshare is all about the marketing and we believe more Mindshare equals more market share. And again, you definitely do a kick-ass job building Mindshare. That being said, a lot of times what happens is agents will get in, start to do some marketing, get that deal, work really, really, really hard to get that deal. And as things start to streamline, they're like, I don't need to do that anymore. I could just do whatever I want, or I could throw a little bit of shit at the wall and hope something sticks. Whatever, we'll see. And there's never any streamlined process. So just sort of going back to, because I try to bring everybody back to their roots, right? First deal, what were you doing back then? How did you get it?
My first deal was surprisingly a door knock. And it was 3 weeks in, and I hate door knocking. And it's funny because Yeah, that was my first deal. I literally I didn't know what to do. So I was still living at home with my parents at the time. And I started at our neighbor. I figured that, at least the people on my street won't be mean to me, which I was completely wrong about. So I talk about this a lot, but there's about 60 houses. And in my mind, I'm like 60 houses, I'll probably get like 45 listings today. That's how I was thinking. And then I knocked on the first door, got nothing. Second door, nothing. Third door, nothing. I think there's maybe the third or the fourth door actually. And I didn't have a script or anything. So I knocked on the door and someone actually answered. I was fucking mortified. So I was like, yeah, I sell houses. And she's like, what? I was like, I can sell your house. And then she's really like weirded out and she looks very upset. And then she just like gives me like she looks at me head to toe and she goes, get the fuck off my property. I said, no problem. No issue there. And then I finished my run and surprisingly, like the last house or two, I landed a listing and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So it actually came, it actually worked. Now you just proved a point. I know that you said you don't like to door knock. And I would say that like 11 out of 10 agents don't like to door knock. 11 out of 10 homeowners don't want to be door knocked. But we do know that 9 out of 10 agents who do door knock actually see business from it. It's kind of wild,
absolutely.
right? So like it does work. And that's the crazy part. It's just most people don't want to do it.
No, yeah, I know.
Now were any of those of the 60 houses or something? Were any of those places like was that where the guy threw you off the balcony there that time?
yeah, exactly.
Dude, I dug deep, man. I was looking at those videos. I'm like, that was hilarious. And if anybody's wondering, they're like, what? You got thrown off? Yeah. This guy like physically. You got to listen. Go follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, I do all my own stunts too.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So, okay, here, door knocking happened. What else were you doing to market yourself at the time?
Nothing really. I was just honestly doing whatever anyone told me to do. So I would door knock. I would cold call, which I landed like probably 6 months in. Everyone was telling me you can't, cold call your area, but you can't cold call like the really luxurious places because you're 6 months in the business and no one's going to want to, this 25-year-old kid or 26-year-old kid at the time, like no one's going to take you seriously. So I was kind of like that scene in like Pursuit of Happiness when Will Smith is like doing all the calls and then he just like skips the list and goes right to like the highest client or the best client. That's what I did. I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to like call these like $2 million houses and just see what happens. And then like literally my first call of that day, which was like, it was my first call. And I was like, hey, do you want to sell your house? Because again, I still wasn't good at scripts. And they actually said yes. I'd never had anyone say yes. So then I didn't actually know what to say. So I was like fucking scrambling. And then I got in the house and they still haven't sold, but I'm still in contact with them. I was actually just over at their place like a month ago. So I'm also a follow-up machine. A lot of the shit on, it looks like I'm very nonchalant and that's kind of what I project. And it's all for, the gram and it's a big commercial to me, but I'm a fucking follow-up beast.
I love that, dude. Talk to me about that for a second. Cause that's, we know the money's in the follow-up, but we also know most people suck at it. Had a great conversation with some clients earlier this morning about that. Just about, again, the power in it. Why is it so difficult for people to do it? It's because it's dirty work, right? It's like, I don't want to do that stuff. I just want to continue to cultivate, but you need to convert. If you're going to generate, you need to convert.
Yeah.
What's some of the tricks to follow up for you? Like in terms of just making sure you're doing it. Like when we say a beast, and don't share your secret sauce necessarily, but it's kind of that thing, right? Like, cause we talk, there's a bunch of different little components that come into making sure you know what the hell you're doing with that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very unconventional with everything I do, but I'm just weird. Like I have like these mental notes and I keep things. I don't have like I have a database, but I also have like different types of databases that I use. Like I consider my Instagram a database now. But to me, it's more in the mindset than anything. People don't like following up because they think that they're bugging the people. But in my mind, if I don't follow up and I don't get their business, I'm doing them a disservice because I feel like I'm the best person to sell their house or help them buy a house. I think every agent should feel that way. Every agent should feel like they're the best at their job.
I love that. I love that a lot. I'm just taking some notes there. I love capturing that stuff because it's so true, right? Like people think that they're bugging somebody, but in reality, you almost don't recognize that person who's actually inquired with you. There's probably a good chance that they're actually looking for you to follow up. Right. And we know, again, if you're not doing that, you're missing out on a ton of opportunities.
Yep.
So from a marketing perspective, then, like we look at, you started with the door knocking, you started with the cold calling, man, you did like dirty work over there, right?
Yeah.
Like you did the hard stuff,
Yeah.
What about this video stuff? I mean, when did you start with video and like, how did you get comfortable? How'd you find your voice? Because I think a lot of times people are scared. Right? Like uncomfortable. Like, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? Like, I don't know. How am I presenting myself? Oh my God, whatever. And it's almost like you got to do it for you and not for anybody else. But how did you find that stuff out?
Yeah.
Because you do it naturally, bro. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I appreciate it. I was just doing everything under the sun. Like I was saying, like I was just trying whatever and nothing was sticking. So off air, we were talking like right before the videos, I started on Teams. I went solo and it was kind of my last hurrah. I was like, okay, if nothing works solo, I think I'm just going to get out of the business. Like it's maybe just not for me. And it was like a series of things that I kind of came to figure out. So I got into the business like I think a lot of people did because I felt I had a good personality. I thought people were going to gravitate towards my personality. Then ironically, I got into the business and lost all my personality because I was trying to be what I thought I had to be. I was seeing the team leaders in my office. I was seeing all the people be successful. And I was thinking, okay, well, I'll mimic that. And that's fine. You can take inspiration and mimic that to a certain extent, but you can't completely copy it because then you lose your personality. And once you're not yourself, people can read through the bullshit and nothing is going to stick once you do that. So I was doing all the lead gen and I just really wasn't converting a lot. And I didn't understand, I'm doing this, they're doing the same thing. Why are they being successful? And why am I not being successful? It's because I was putting on this image and it just wasn't me at all. So I figured that out. I was like, okay, fuck, if I'm going to go solo, I got to just like do things my own way.
And that was, hold on, sorry, that was purely out of the fact that like you realize like it's just not working this way.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. It's like this realize that like just the light bulb went off.
Yeah, it's not working this way.
Yeah.
I had these comedy videos. I had these ideas since I got into the business. Cool. And I would tell people them and they'd say that's funny, but like that's not for this industry. Like right. you're not going to be taken seriously and you're not going to get business that way. So, at the beginning I was like, well, they know more than I do. So let's not do that. So once nothing was working, I went solo and I was like, you know what, fuck, I'm just going to try this. I hadn't tried this yet. So it was like the last thing I hadn't done. So, and I started getting in my head. I was like, just like you were saying, I was like, well, how are people going to think, how are they going to think of me? It's not going to be professional. It's not going to be good for my brand. And then like literally as I was thinking of all that stuff, everything clicked. I was like, I'm being precious about a brand that I don't have. No one knew who the fuck I was. So whether I posted the funny video or I didn't post the funny video, if I posted the funny video, okay, people could hate it. And maybe I'd have to switch industries, which I was already thinking about doing, or I could not post the video and get a whole lot of the same. And I didn't fucking want a whole lot of the same. So I was like, you know what? I'll post the video. So I was just, like I said, being precious about a brand I didn't have. Posted the video. It was for a listing. It was my first listing as a solo agent. Different market than we're in now. I mean, it wasn't crazy seller's market. I posted that. There was no, it was like terrible quality videos on my iPhone. There was no mics, no lights, nothing like that. Just a funny idea I had. And I sold that listing in like 8 hours with 3 offers and it sold over ask. So once that happened, I was like, okay, there's something here. And then I just kept doing it. Yeah.
Oh, that's wicked. It's interesting because it's one of those, you look at so many people that have been like super successful in life, in business. Many of them have these like war stories of kind of, climbing, trying to find it, and then all of a sudden, almost just like hitting like almost, and I don't want to necessarily say hitting rock bottom in your case necessarily, but it's we tried this. We got to reinvent this thing a little bit and just go for it, but go for it in a way where, we're going to take that step. We're going to take that step that most people don't take. And that's, again, getting out of that comfort zone. That's, again, putting ourselves out there a little bit, or it's people who, go bankrupt. The next thing you know, they're millionaires again. Like, you kind of go like, what happened? But there's something interesting about, when you get down to that place where you're almost, like you said, like I was almost ready to give up. So quite frankly, like it really didn't matter at this point. And then boom.
Yep.
Right.
When you have nothing to lose.
Yeah. It's just wicked cool though. Right. So tell me this then, because again, watching the stuff, super funny. Is the guy that we see in the videos the same guy that we meet when we are like out having a beer or like just chilling, or the dog park? I know you had a dog there.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like is Matt that guy? And I know that maybe it's like, how could you sit back right now and be like, no, dude, I'm a completely different person.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty similar. I'm pretty similar. I mean, like sometimes I'm playing like a character. But no, that is a big part of my personality. I'm a very observant person, and the littlest things piss me off. So then I thought, and it's just like constantly, like I'm constantly trying to build and better the content. So like I have these like car rant videos where I just talk about what's on my mind in my car. And like, that's actually what's on my mind. Like I walk through the day, like what I'm saying is what goes through my head all day. Like, that's how my mind works. So yeah, that's me.
I've done a wicked job with it, because I was going to say, like, most people are way too scared to say what they want to say, but you, I'd say like me, we just go right for it here. We're going to say it as it is.
Yeah.
Take it with what you want. But I mean, you do it with some great humor, which is amazing. So it makes it easy to take in, easy to consume, which is awesome. And I guess I was going to say to you, like, where do you get the inspiration for all the content? But I guess it's exactly that. It's like the dealings with people throughout a day. How do you take that? Okay, let's do it that way then. How do you take a dealing that you've had with somebody, which you want to turn into some content, and it's a great source of content. And again, to everybody tuned in right now, I would say, like, even when you're talking to clients, there's going to be things that they ask you, things that they say to you, things that happen that you can turn into content. They could be learning moments for other people. And I've done this with our Mindshare videos for many years as well. It's like you take these experiences that you have with people, you go and create content about it, but at the same time, you want to ensure that like that person almost doesn't go, whoa, what's he talking about me?
Yeah.
And not like you anymore.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, my clients know what they're getting themselves into. So I don't really, they'll actually say, like, if they don't like, if I suggest a price we should offer at or list that and they don't listen, they're like, oh, fuck, please don't put me in one of your videos. Like they kind of understand that now. And I think like you said, I do it in like, it's not very like aggressive. It's all satire and very fun and lighthearted. Like I swear a lot, but I just fucking swear all the time. That's just, which I never used to until I met my then girlfriend, now wife. She swears more than I ever could in my entire life. So she tuned into this right now. Like, she's going to get pissed off to find out that you are swearing because she swears. Yeah, I don't know. She made me swear so much more. I don't know what happened, but I didn't used to swear as much as I do. But that's the only thing that could kind of be taken as offensive. But the way I grew up, like swearing's wasn't offensive. So I didn't really even think of that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it depends on the subject. If it's something that's like my buyer lost out on a deal and it's like, I don't know, something happened where I get some sort of content idea, I'll wait until maybe we buy another house and close on it. So, some things I kind of have to bank because you don't want to do something when it's fresh, especially in my style, because sometimes I guess it could be taken out of context.
I think we use the words here, funny, clever, and sometimes polarizing.
Yeah.
No, but I'm with you. It's that banking content. And I think that's even outside of just the conversation with individuals or the interaction with individuals. But I think banking content is something that people need to be doing on a regular anyways, just looking for opportunities to have video, looking for opportunities to have photos, looking for opportunities to blog or put something else out there. again, it comes to the interactions in the day to day. And I think that, that's a great sort of piece of advice there too, is just look at that stuff. Right. So speaking of banking, do you batch create anything? Like, do you sit down sometimes and like take like a day or a few hours to record a whole shit ton of stuff and then, put it out there?
I don't really. I usually do week to week just because I like to be relevant with like pop culture as well. So I kind of take things in my content. I have been doing it more. Like I'm going to batch some stuff this week just because if I know I have like a busy couple weeks ahead, I'll batch. And then I have a couple like new segments coming out soon that I'm gonna, because I have a ton of friends who batch, like they literally take it one day a month and they make like 11 or 12 pieces of content in one day. And then they just have it. They have their editor chop it up and then they don't have to worry about it for another month or two. So I'm going to do stuff like that. So I'm posting more frequently than I already am because I want to get it up to, instead of like 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Okay. So from a frequency perspective, you're actually looking to get even more out there, which makes sense. But talk to me about the production aspect then. Because we talk about batch creation, right? Like, when you batch creating, especially when it's video, it's almost like, changing outfits and changing locations and really, and bottom line, like it or not, it takes time to do that stuff. But what kind of time does it take? Or what does it take to, I guess, sort of record one of these things that you're doing on a regular, from the, the editing or the even the idea to the edit, like to the recording, to the editing, like, is it recorded in one shot kind of thing? And where I'm going with this again is not to completely let everything out there, but it's almost to help people tuned in understand, maybe the simplicities of it or like the steps that it takes. You know where I'm going with that?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, because you're doing it. And I know for me, like when it comes to especially reels and stuff, like the editing process can be arduous.
Yeah, it gets easier and easier once you know kind of the style you're going for. Like the car ramp videos, there's no editing. I do it. I post it. The skits, they're normally in one take. So like all the phone call things that I do, I'm not actually talking to anyone.
Right.
My wife does all the voices. Yeah. So I just like do the conversation. So I have to memorize the script and then I do the conversation. Then I have her like put it in afterwards. Like the phone calls.
You type out what you want to do. Is she there with you while you're doing that?
No. No.
Okay.
So I just, it's a little weird because I have to make sure I'm leaving enough space for her to actually talk and stuff.
Right.
So you have to be like really you have to really know the script, but everything I do is scripted. And I think people, a lot of people I know, they're like, no, I'm way better off the cuff.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I do a lot off the cuff too, but you need a script. I write everything out word for word because I need a beginning, a middle, and an end. Because if you don't have that, you're going to be fucking rambling and hemming and hawing like a fucking asshole. So do your scripts. You can leave the script. That's fine. But you need to get your point across. And you need to get your point across as fast as possible in this day and age. If you're not rehooking someone every 3 to 5 seconds in your video, you're done. You're scrolled past and they're on to the next. So if you're going, oh, here's a market update. Well, here in Toronto, you're done. You're fucking done. Like, that's just it. So script it out. So you're like, here in Toronto, we got fucking 3.5%. Here in Oakville, we got fucking 7%. I wouldn't recommend putting all the swear words in, but I'm not opposed to it either. So, I mean, if you think about it, and that was actually part of my mindset with the content, like a bit of shock factor. Like if you go, here's 3 ways to sell your fucking house. Everyone's going to listen to it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I talk about that when I had my friend Lee Brown on the show. She's got a podcast called Crazy Shit in Real Estate. And it's just one of those, like, I was like, she's on my show as a guest. I'm taking the title of her show and using that as the title for the show because it's better than like things that happen, stories about realtors. I don't know, crazy shit in real estate.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of production value, we just had a comment from one of our Mindshare masters in the sort of the VIP rooms here. Your Freddie Mercury video is hilarious. And I watched that as well. I thought that was jokes. And again, talk about production.
Yeah.
These things take time. Is that the type of stuff that's like 1 cut, 10 cuts, 1 hour, 10 minutes, 3 hours?
Yeah. So those I hire out. So the first Freddie Mercury video, I just had like a friend kind of do it, but now I have like an actual production team that I hire out And everything is scripted. It's storyboarded. So like, you know, I understand that I'm not fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, right? Like I need to get into the house, do my shit and get out as fast as possible. So like we have an hour Zoom meeting. I send them the script.
An hour Zoom meeting on about that one particular video.
Yeah. Cool. About that one video, because when we go in, like that Freddie Mercury video took me an hour and a half. Right. I did a Drake video that took me 2 hours. I did like a Say Anything parody where I'm holding the boombox that took me 2 hours. Which a lot of people that probably
jokes, dude.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. He never fucking responded, but that's okay.
I was wondering. I was going to ask you, like, so what happened?
Yeah, soon it's coming, Drake. If you're listening to this, which I know you are, it's coming.
100%.
Yeah, but it's all storyboarded. So it's scripted, it's storyboarded. So I know exactly which room I'm going to be in when I say which line. I have my guys go previous, or I at least send them all the pictures of the house or the location so they know where they're going to put the lights when they get there. Like it needs to be efficient because like I said, I can't be there for 7 hours.
Well, that's what I'm asking, right? Because again, I know from a production value, this stuff can take time. And if it's not thought out and you don't know where you're going, you'll waste time and you won't get the value of the product. You won't get the production that you're looking for as a finished product.
Yeah. And you also won't get the delivery you want because I like to strike, like all my takes are normally first, second, maybe third take. Yeah. And that's when it's, you know, you're really feeling it. Once you're fucking doing a line for the 20th time, you lose that energy.
Yeah. So just be prepared. Yeah, man. I know exactly, because now it's just rehearsed.
Yeah.
It didn't come out raw and natural. Personally, I can't stand scripted shit. Like for me personally, I will go ahead and there's a lot of stuff that I will make sure that I know what I want to say. I find it hard to try to stay exactly on key with that, but much the same too. I know where that genuine delivery is, and I know when I'm like trying to force it out, right?
Yep.
What about your first video? We were having a question from another one of our Mindshare Masters here. Just wondering, like, the absolute like first video you did. What, you know, just maybe topic and production value, time involved kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I actually show, so if anyone's going to the Buzz conference, you're going to see a lot of my first videos. That took me fucking 3 hours. And I'm literally sitting at a kitchen table looking like I'm held hostage talking about why open houses are good. So like, it literally took me 3 hours. Like I was standing in front of a camera sitting and I could not get out my 1 minute video. But for the comedy stuff, the first video was like, it was for that listing I was talking about. It's called the Shut the Front Door video, where I keep almost swearing in the video. So I say like, hey, welcome to my listing.
You do?
No, I don't swear ever.
No, not at all.
I say like, welcome to my listing. If you don't like it, you can shut and then I'd be like at the front door, like front door. And then like it kept going on like that. And it was literally just until probably a year and a half ago, everything was just me and my iPhone, and my wife would film me. So, I mean, you don't need so many people. It's always like, oh yeah, I'm going to do content once I get my camera. I'm going to do content once I get my new fucking haircut. I'm going to do camera once the zit on my face goes away. No one cares. No one cares about any of that shit. If you can spend $20,000 on equipment, if the actual content isn't good, it doesn't matter. So like always content first, and don't overthink it. Like even when I was door knocking in my early days, I would think, oh fuck, I got a zit. Like no one's going to want to talk to. It's like, no one gives a fuck. Half my videos, I look like a maniac. Like I understand that people aren't coming to my page because I look like Chris Hemsworth. So like, you gotta just like know your strengths and lean into them. I mean, people don't know what you're supposed to look like.
I love it, man. So just wicked advice.
Sorry, I rant.
No.
Real.
Listen, straight up, this is key, right? We both get an opportunity to be in front of groups of people. We both get an opportunity to speak with people and try to, empower people to actually take that step and do, right? And that's exactly what you're doing right now. And it's important because, people get way too caught up in the technology, way too caught up in, the gimbals and the this and the that and what. No, you don't need. Like I will tell you, my first one was literally me with my phone. I had the earbud in. The sound was horrible. The lighting was horrible. The whole production value was garbage. The content was great. I like to think so. I think the value was.
You have to think so.
Well, but the thing is, like, you learn. and you continue to get better. Totally. And in fact, instead of stepping up with more tech, I pulled the earbuds out. I'm like, screw it. I'm just going with me and my phone.
Yep.
And for a certain portion, like a certain segment of our stuff, it's me and my phone. Other stuff, yes, is very produced, right?
Yeah. There's different way. Like my rant, I did a rant. It literally took me 20 seconds or however long the video is.
Yeah.
I talk about like how real estate agents are going to be replaced by robots. And then I'm in the Walmart self-checkout. That video, I don't know if you saw that one.
Was killer.
Dude, that has 400,000 views. Like it took me 20 seconds. With nothing.
Here. Millions of organic views. Okay?
Yeah.
Over 40,000 followers on the gram.
Yeah.
What's the secret, bro? And we touched on this prior to getting on air, but I think it's important that everybody really understands that. Cause like, did you just like flip a switch and like all of a sudden, you just got all these people, or like, did you just say, hey, I want to wake up and have all these people? Obviously not.
Yeah, no, it's a combination. Like, I mean, once I started doing the funny content, I got picked up by different meme pages and stuff like that. So, and when you get what people don't understand is like, so I'm partners with the broke agent now.
Yeah.
But like if the broke agent posts someone who's just posting just solds all day, like that's not gonna help them at all. What, if I get posted on the broke agent, I'll get a bunch of followers because I'm this similar content. So if you want to do something like that, like you should, if people are trying to grow their followings, that's fine, but make sure it's a following that is actually going to be engaged and a following that is they're not just following you because you're giving away a fucking Gucci bag or some shit, So like those like giveaways and stuff, I'm not really like big on those. I think create the good content and then like people will start seeing it. As now that I have more followers, there's way more shares. Like I'm averaging like, 8 to 10,000 shares a video, stuff like that. So that helps. So I kind of had that like early on, I would get shared a lot and stuff like that. And now that I'm partnering with the broke agent, but now it's more just like I'm getting shares from the people watching the content.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing is like, people are always trying to be like, oh, how do I get new people to follow me? What you should be focusing on is what do your people who already follow you like? And then, because think about it, it's like a referral. So if if you're posting stuff that they like, they're going to send it to their friends and be like, I like this. And as soon as your friend texts you and like, oh, check this out, this is awesome, you automatically, it just seems more like, okay, my friend likes this, so I'm probably going to like it. And then it's easier for them to follow, and then they share it. It's just like a snowball effect.
Real important what was just said there, right? Like, and I was just noting that down. I like that. It's how do you get more people to follow? It's look at the people that are already following you and see what it is that they're looking for, and then deliver more value, and then they will share more or get engaged more, which means it grows. And if we do go back to video number 1 or at the start of sort of like this part of your journey, there's a thought to do some funny videos. We do the funny videos. We put them out there. You posted it to Instagram just like the next person posted it to Instagram. You put a comment in there. You put a few hashtags in there just like the next person did. It was the value of the actual content that got picked up by one person, which then started to just morph into more people. And then all of a sudden you start to find a voice, deliver.
Yep. And the thing is also is like people will put out a piece of content and it'll be good. And then they'll put out another piece of content the next week and it will flop. And then they'll stop altogether, which the flops are actually the best part.
Yep.
Especially when you're coming up, because that's how you tailor your content to your audience. So now you have data. This video did great. This video didn't. What did I do in this video that my audience liked so much that I didn't do in this video? Then you start tailoring it. And as you keep producing the content, you know more what your audience is looking for, and you have less flops than, in the beginning.
Was analytics something that you looked a lot at, like to really look at that? Yeah, studied that, eh? Cool.
Yeah, I think if you really want to have a go at it, like I saw the value in social credibility and social influence in today's age. So I really put a lot into it, and I still do put a lot into it. Like I'm constantly learning and jumping on the trends, and like Reels has been like the biggest kind of thing that's happened to Instagram. Cause that's how they're competing with TikTok now. Yep. So they're pushing that out. So I'm constantly like in the know of what's going on there, because I really think as this shit keeps, growing, social is going to be everything. Like there's already some polls that came out that said like 80% of millennials or something. These aren't exact quotes, so don't, but it's like 80% or 85% of millennials would consider using a social media influencer as their real estate agent.
Interesting stuff. Real interesting. Yeah. So as you brought up TikTok, is that something you focus on, or is it like the Instagram's your thing?
Yeah, Instagram's my thing. I just think Instagram's the best all-purpose app. I think it's the best for actually still talking to people in DMs and stuff like that. TikTok's good. You can go viral on it. I don't know. There's so much fucking bullshit on there though. Like it's like I just kind of repost my content from Instagram. I haven't really taken a real like go at TikTok.
Yeah,
I will eventually.
Yeah,
but yeah, now that I have the Instagram, like I'm growing that. I'm just gonna focus on that and see where it goes.
Instagram last summer came out and said if you're doing 4 reels in every 7-day window, you're going to grow like crazy. And they sort of like they wanted everybody to really get on the reel train. Yeah. Did you follow, like, as you're studying what they're telling you, or sort of what's trending with their platform? Are you looking at that stuff?
Yeah, I don't do that exactly, but yeah, cool. I've definitely know that they are pushing video so much more. They pretty much said like we're pushing video.
They came out and
more.
said it. Yeah.
So like, why wouldn't you listen to the people who've created the app? Like push video, push vertical video. Like these are vertical video is the first thing, or vertical anything, even if you're still doing photos. It's the first thing, the first step you can take into like making your content better. It's like if you buy ad space in a magazine, you want the biggest space you could get. And that's what vertical video does. It fills up your whole screen. You're more engaged with the content.
You mentioned about follow-up being a machine earlier. I love it, dude. I think it's awesome. We do a very, very similar thing on this end. Do you rely only on video for your marketing, or are you using other channels? And like, where does most of the biz come from just based on what you built up for yourself now? Is it people you know, people you don't know, which is probably an interesting one, because a lot of the people watching the videos, probably we don't know who they are. We know they're there. Where does the biz come from, and what else are you doing to support the videos?
All my video, it's all social media and sphere of influence.
Cool.
Probably more social, especially this year. Yeah, probably like 70 to 30 this year, maybe 80 to 20. And it's all, it's literally... The thing about video is, we were saying it offline, you feel like you know the person before you know them.
Totally.
Like that's such an advantage. That's where most my business is coming from. I don't really do anything else. And I was saying this on my podcast yesterday, like video is, you're duplicating yourself. You're morphing yourself 1,000 times every time you make a video, and that video is working for you 24/7. So as soon as I put out a piece of content, I've duplicated myself. So now I'm here right now, and someone's watching my video as well.
Wicked point.
So that's, like you have to look at it like that. I get 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 views on my shit. Like go knock on 200,000, 400,000 doors.
Right.
It's going to take you fucking forever.
Video is
you multiply yourself.
That's exactly it. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Everyone I say that point to, they're like, that's a great point. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking awesome.
So quick note on that. I was convinced by a client the other day to go back and start watching the Kanye West documentary. Used to be a big fan of Kanye. He sort of like lost me along the way. I think he lost a lot of people, unfortunately. But I went back and I watched it. And just on that note, really quickly, he made a comment somewhere. And again, it's not exactly how he said it, but it was kind of like, he was calling himself out almost to like how brash he is. and how people will say like, "Hey man, you're great." And he goes, most people turn around and be like, "Oh, you know, that's so very kind of you." And I'm so glad you think that. He's like, "I fucking think I'm great." He's like, "So when somebody tells me that I'm great, I'm going to tell them, yeah, I fucking know I am great." And I'm like, damn, dude, like that takes some nerve. But it's one of those things too, where you go, belief is a very important thing in life. And he actually believes.
It's everything. And I'm very big on the law of attraction and shit like that.
Likewise, dude. Yep. 100%.
Okay. Man. Awesome. So I journal every night.
Every single night, without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's a must. And I journal, and it sounds fucking crazy to say, but like I knew this was going to happen. In my journals from way back then, I said, like, you know, I'm going to speak with Ryan Serhant. I'm going to work with Ryan Serhant. I'm going to make people think differently about how they see realtors. I'm still working on that, but I think I'm starting to get into that.
Yep.
You know, I said, you know, at the very beginning, my first year I did it, I said, I'm going to make $100,000 when I was making no money. It happened. Like literally everything. I'm just like, checking things off. Like I've literally, when I spoke with Serhant, I saw myself there already. Like it is crazy what that does to just like have that vision and see yourself in those places. I daydream. I daydream all the time until it comes true. And when I journal, I get goosebumps.
Yeah, man.
Because I know it's going to happen.
It's actually giving me goosebumps right now to hear you say it, because I so strongly believe on that. And I mean, again, many people tuned in have heard me tell umpteen stories about that type of stuff. But I've got so many things, man. Like, you know, the stages that I've been on, the people that I've met, you know, the things that I've done. Like you go, I'm going to do this. And then you just make sure you write that down so that actually it becomes real. It's not just a thought. And then all of a sudden, at some point, we don't know when or where, but it starts to happen. And then when it does, you kind of go, now you're not going to, there's no way you're taking me off this track, right? You're not going to make me a non-believer. This is just way too real. And then over time, things begin to happen. And there's a lot of people that go, oh, that's very woo-woo or very hocus pocus. Yeah, that's cool. So you don't do it. I'm going to continue doing it. Yeah. And I'll just, you know, see you later.
Whatever works. Yeah, and people, you know, do whatever the fuck you want. But like, you also can't just write shit down and fucking take a nap either. Like, you got to write it down and then you got to work towards it. You know, like people don't, they forget that part. I mean, I've read a lot of books on it and shit like that. And you got to put in the work still.
Do you do a lot of reading?
I read stuff like that. I don't really read a lot of like business books. Yep. Like I just finished the Dave Grohl book, which I loved. And I'm reading Will Smith's book right now.
Nice. Is it good? Yeah. I'm actually going to get on that.
Yeah, I'm a gigantic Will Smith. He's super inspiring, and he's very much aligned with all the stuff we were just talking about. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool. Now, looking at content, looking at getting stuff out there, online leads, paying for social media ads. What's your 2 cents on that? I know that in some of the videos, we actually poke fun at it. Love it. But on a serious note, are you spending money on this type of stuff? Like to try to boost it out there and get it further to be seen? Is that a big part of the strategy if you are?
No.
What's your 2 cents on it? What about online leads? I mean, fuck them. Just putting it all in there right now.
Online leads? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
As he chuckles.
I've never had success with online leads. And that's the thing. Like, people need to understand, like, it's whatever I say, and some people get very mad at what I say. But whatever I say is just my opinion. I had no success with online leads. I could not fucking convert an online lead.
Yep.
That doesn't mean someone else wouldn't. Everyone's good at something. Yep. You know, I have friends who crush door knocking and cold calling. They literally do all their business that way. Like, that's fine. I think it's fun to poke fun at shit like that. So online leads for me, no, it's a fucking nightmare. Fuck that shit.
Exclamation mark.
Yeah. paying. I don't pay for anything. Sometimes I guess maybe I'll do I'll do some paid ads for some listings, but never any of my because I have listings and then I have top of mind content. I call it, where it's like, I'm just staying top
Matt,
of mind.
we call that mind share, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. Mindshare content. There you go. Yeah. So
I want to throw that out there.
I'm building Mindshare.
I like that. So, I'm going to use that.
Yeah. Yeah. Use it.
Use that. Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. This has been great. No. So for paying, and I get it for the listing side of things, for the other side of things, it's not like we paid for followers, we paid for content boosts. It's like, be consistent, put some good value add, figure out what your people want, go have some fun with it and just be who you are.
Yeah. And people who jump on now, they're like, oh, like you just kind of came out of nowhere. Like I've been working at it for almost 3 years now. I started this with 800 followers.
Oh, you didn't take that overnight pill?
No, I didn't.
Oh, the magic one.
I know. Yeah, I never took it. I know. Crazy. But that's just, I do not, and will never believe in like paying for followers. It's such a fucking joke. Like,
cop out.
Because I mean, you have 20,000 followers and 3 likes on your, like, it's so dumb. Like people can see right through it now.
Well, you can see there's some agents out there that have got that. And I think people are enamored by it. But then, guys like us who kind of know what's going on in the background, kind of do a quick scour. And you look at the people who are actually following, you go, half the names are written in dingbats. Other ones are probably real dingbats.
Yeah.
They're from places that are not even local to like where we live. And you kind of go, this is not real. But sometimes people anyways, I don't know. Well, tell me this as we talk about that for a moment. What are some things that you absolutely love about other realtors, and read into the sarcasm on that one. Maybe some questions or some of the best stuff that.
Okay,
anything that goes to mind.
Oh yeah.
As he adjusts his chair, he's like, okay, wait a second, let me get ready for this one.
Everyone on the live, do you guys have a fucking take the rest of the day off? I'm gonna fucking
seatbelts.
I mean, I don't know where to start. Okay. So pet peeves. I'm gonna call them pet peeves.
Yeah.
The first one I'm gonna say is the luxury, taking a picture of your Starbucks mug with your Mercedes steering wheel in the background and your fucking Rolex. The subtle flex. If you're going to flex. That's nothing wrong with showing that you got a nice watch or a car. I don't need to see your fucking pumpkin spice latte and then, you got a Mercedes too? Like, don't need it. All right. Don't need any of that. I also don't understand the whole flex. Like I love watches. I have a ton of like nice watches. That doesn't mean anything. Just because I have a nice watch and someone else doesn't have a nice watch doesn't mean I have more money than them. It just means I wanted to be an idiot and buy a nice watch, So like I don't understand. Someone who has a Mercedes, okay, so you lease the car. Like you know what I did? No, it's more of a flex. I just got a $2.5 million buyer at the end of last year. I drove him around in my old fucking 2012 Kia Forte. That's a flex. In a Ramon shirt. I feel like I'm talented. I feel like I'm fucking talented because of that. Like, like there's no hide in there. Shit didn't even have fucking rims. So, sorry. That's just
roll.
The top producer thing. The top producer thing. I mean, of course, the shitty catchphrases, everything I touch turns to sold, all that bullshit. I mean, I think there's a lot we need to kind of get rid of at this point, But I'm not hating on anyone who does it. I just think it's funny and I did all the shit I'm talking about right now. I did it all in year 1 and 2. So, I mean, I feel like I can make fun of it now because I feel like I'm just making fun of myself.
What about like leveraging sold for over asking in the market that we've just had and leveraging that as like your big, look at me?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was just thinking of doing a video like that where it's like, sold over ask and then being like in the eyes of clients, being like stopping the car, like, holy shit, this agent just sold over ask. We got to fucking call him, But like literally everything's, if it doesn't say over ask now, like, people think there's something wrong.
What about advertising with 1%?
Oh, that shit is so. I mean, I don't know. I've seen the agents who do the 1% thing, and if you're going to give a full service, then and you want to do it for 1%, then fine. But like their entire strategy is based on 1%. Like that's the only thing they have above anything. They're, they don't have, I'm going to do this and this and this. They just say, I'm going to list for 1%, and it's not 1%. It's fucking 3.5%, because if you don't give the cooperating brokerage their cut, then you're an idiot. Just my opinion.
Well, listen, you know what? I see it between the commissions. I see it between advertising. People are trying to say they're in the top 1%. And, I have a hard time just reading into like what 1% actually means sometimes, because you start to,
top 1% too.
That's just confusing. Like, I don't even know what you mean anymore.
Oh my God. I have another video coming out with the fine print of that. It's like top 1% for people named Matt in between the water cooler and the printer at the South office in fucking 42nd Street. Like anyone could say they're the best agent in the world in the eyes of their parents, like it's just like there's fine print that is always whatever.
Okay, as we're talking about that then, and we go for the words, let's talk about a few real estate code words that everybody needs to know the proper definition of. You got anything there?
Okay, let's do it. Oh, real estate code word. I did a couple. Do you want ones that are already from my videos or some new ones?
Oh, dude.
Do you have code words that you need debunking? If you say something.
No, I want to hear like what you got for everybody.
Okay. Well, I think the normal ones, cozy, small as all hell. Natural light, tons of natural light. It's got a window, maybe two if you're lucky. Mature neighborhood. It's got a tree and a fence. What else do we got here? Chef-inspired kitchen. It's a kitchen. That's it.
You could
it's got a fridge, maybe a dishwasher if you're lucky. What else do we got? What else? Tons of character. All the appliances are beige. I mean, I can like.
All the appliances are beige. Oh, beautiful, dude. Buddy, listen, this is good, man. This is good. This is really good. I love this stuff. You know what? We could do this over and over and over again, and just keep rhyming on things. And we're gonna have to do this again, because I think we could probably go off on things for some time here. And if we really wanted to go off base, there's the two of us, it might get dangerous for some folks. But taking this to a more serious note for a second, or back to a serious note, or I don't know, maybe the first time we did the serious note today, but how do you know it's been a successful day for you?
That's a good question. When I feel like I've actually furthered my career, like the things I did today are going to pay dividends in whether it's a week or a month or 3 months. I'm doing something every day that is, whether it's from the content side or the real, because I kind of separate them now, like we were saying. But I just want to make sure that I'm moving forward in some way. Whatever I'm doing today is going to make my business better. And like I said, I'm doing, I have the whole content side, which is getting me business, which is awesome. But as I was telling you off air, like it's, just the content alone without selling real estate pays all my bills now with the monetization and the brand deals and everything that I do. So that's, it's such a big aspect of my entire career now, because it's giving me monthly income that's paying all my bills. So I need to totally focus on that. And it's a bonus because I'm getting business from it.
Yeah.
Real estate business. And then, like I was saying, that's like fun money, that, is just kind of, I can invest and do whatever. So I pretty much make sure I'm doing something content related every day, whether it's coming up with ideas or writing a script or filming, or that's like number one for me. And again, that doesn't have to be number one for everybody. Mm-hmm. Like everyone has a different number one. For me, I put most of my time into creating content and figuring out ways to have that mind share. And I was going to say top of mind.
I like the way you correct that. I really like
wipe
that.
it. And because that's all it is. That's content and Instagram and social media. It's a big commercial. to one fucking big commercial. And, you know, it doesn't always have to be like the most value. If you can just get in front of people, you stand a chance, which is a good example. I know I'm rambling now, but there's this listing I really had no chance of getting, which I'm still working on getting, but it was this guy, this listing agent went in, he sells all the places on that street. He literally sells everyone. And then instead of just signing with them, the seller called me and was like, I saw your content. It's like the craziest shit I've ever seen. My wife probably isn't going to like it, but like, I need to meet you and see like how we can, you know, so whether I get that listing or not, the content created that opportunity for me, which if I was just doing just solds, just listed, they would have already been off into the sunset with that other one. So what this content's doing for me, being a little polarizing, niching down on my marketing, is creating different opportunities because I'm standing out, and I'm becoming like the show. And what I mean by that is a long time ago, someone said, you know, I was telling them all my goals and everything, and they're laughing. They're like, well, how are you going to stand out with all these other agents? Like go to, you know, it's like you going to a concert at the Rogers Center, but everyone is an agent there. Mm-hmm. How are you going to stand out at the Rogers Center? Mm-hmm. Which if there's only agents at the Rogers Center, I'd fucking lose my mind. But that's another. I mean, I think we all would. I mean, no one wants that shit. Holy shit. But he was laughing and he thought it was funny. Like, how are you going to stand out at the Rogers Center? And I said, well, I'll be the show.
There you go.
You know, so everyone should be the show. I mean, that's when you go to the Rogers Center, you see a show, everyone's eyes are on the show. So be the show. And I think if you can figure out how to be your own show, you're going to stand out. And you're going to make more noise, and you're going to get opportunities that not everyone will get.
I would double down, maybe triple down on that statement right there. I think that is absolutely crucial. We try to fit into the mold all too often. We try to be somebody who we're not. We try to be who people want us to be. We try to be who we think people, or who we think we should be. And, you know, somebody said that to me the other day, like, why should you? I went, shit, that's a great question. Why should you? Mm-hmm. So last question here, I was going to ask you, you know, so just some parting words, tips, tricks, anything for everybody to get out there and build some more mind share, you know, grow their business. I think you just shared that. I really think that's a great, you know, a great statement right there though. Be the show. Yeah. You know, to your people and to your personality. Figure out your personality, why do your friends like you? Figure out what character traits your friends like about you, because clearly people like you, and then utilize that. Are you the bubbly one? Are you the funny one? Are you the analytical one? What is a trait that people like about you? Literally ask, and then implement that into your video. Because like we were saying before, once people see you on video, they feel like they know you. It's way easier to call someone that you feel like you know. So figure out what it is. Doesn't have to be funny to be creative. Everyone says, yeah, Matt, I want to do what you do, but I'm not funny. Don't have to be funny. Yeah. Figure out what you are. Why do people like you? What can you bring to the table differently? Even if you're doing market updates, do it in your own voice. Do it in a style that hasn't been seen before. People posting their brokerage random market update. That's like what is that? Most people don't know what the hell most agents don't even know what the fuck they're reading at that point. So like, how is like the average consumer going to know what that is, right? Break it down in a cool way. Like, and just, figure, I think I had something else, but that's all you're going to get until I remember. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you remember in a few minutes, probably too late, but so we'll have to do it again. Yeah. But no, seriously, dude, this has been absolutely amazing. Where can people find you? I mean, I know we mentioned Instagram, obviously Matt Lionetti. Anywhere else that we should direct people, or is like, that's the spot? Just go there. That's my spot. That's my main, it's my main hub. So just go there and DM me. I'm good with DMs mostly.
unless you're weird trying to sell me shit and you're fucking
like, hey, Matt, would you like to grow your following?
Yeah. Don't ever do that. No one do that. And think about that next time you get one of those messages when you're asking someone for their business.
Yeah.
Don't do that. No one wants that. Oh, the other thing, bring your personality into it, your hobbies. Okay. We were talking about Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Know how many conversations I start because I wear band shirts?
Dude, 100% for sure.
Like
that was the first thing we started talking about.
Yeah. And it has nothing to do with real estate. And then it's up to you to bring it back to real estate, because all your content should do is start conversations. The rest is up to you. Buddy. That's fucking mic drop. Mic drop.
That's what I'm saying. That looks expensive. Don't drop it. But no, buddy, you are the man. Matt Lionetti, everybody. This has been amazing, dude. This is tons and tons of value. Certainly some good laughs, but as important as those are, I think that even more importantly, seriously, and I don't take anything away from the laughs, but a ton of value dropped today. You can see me like when I'm doing this, I'm writing a ton of notes here. It's good stuff, man. I really thank you for taking the time today to join us on the Mindshare podcast. I thank you for being here and for all the insights. And dude, I look forward to doing it again with you, man. So keep up what you're doing, man. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Thank you so much. I'll see you at Buzz at the end of the month.
Yeah, man. We'll see you in a few weeks, eh?
Thanks so much for having me, dude.
All right, brother. I'll see you soon. You're either listening to this on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Stitcher, or Spotify. Or maybe you went to my website, mindshare101.com. And while you're on my site, make sure to download your free copy of the Ultimate Marketing Bundle for Realtors. This is a 31-page ebook packed with a ton of tips and tricks for you. Plus, there's a ready-to-go 90-day social media content calendar to help you build more mindshare so that you can get more market share. And if you want to talk about personalized one-to-one coaching to help you get to your next level, just get in touch with me. We'll set up a strategy call, learn more about what you're looking to achieve and how we will help you do just that. Also, don't forget that our push to 100 is on. All you have to do, this is super easy, is go over to www.ratethispodcast.com/mindshare101. Go there, leave a review, give us a nice rating. We'd be very, very appreciative. And if you haven't yet, connect with me on Facebook at Mindshare101 and on Instagram at David Greenspan101. I want to once again thank Virginia Munden and the Buzz Conference for sponsoring today's episode. Be sure to visit their site, www.thebuzzconference.com. Make sure you grab your tickets for Recharge 2022 coming up on March 31st. It is coming up quick, so head on over there right now. And of course, I want to thank Kids Keep in Touch Systems for sponsoring today's episode. If you haven't checked us out yet, just go to my site, myshow101.com, and click on marketing. This has been another episode of the Mindshare Podcast. Thank you for tuning in.